Welcome. This podcast is not here to fix you or improve you. It's here to help you see clearly so life can reorganize on its own. Listen slowly. Nothing needs to be done. At some point in life, many people notice something unsettling. It feels like the same situation keeps returning. Different people, but the same dynamic. Different jobs, but the same pressure. Different phases, but the same emotional ending. And a quiet question begins to form. Why does this keep happening to me? If you've asked that question, you're not alone. And the answer is not bad luck. It's not punishment. And it's not because you haven't learned the lesson yet. It's because life reflects what hasn't been seen clearly. Most people think patterns exist outside of them. They say, I keep meeting the same kind of people. Work is always stressful for me. Money never seems stable. It feels external. But patterns don't begin outside, they begin inside and then repeat outward. To understand this, we need to gently shift how we see life. Life is not a series of random events. Life is a mirror, not a moral mirror, not a judging mirror, a neutral mirror. It reflects your inner state, not to punish you, but to show you something you haven't noticed yet. This is where many people misunderstand repetition. They think repetition means, I'm doing something wrong. But repetition usually means, something inside me hasn't been fully acknowledged yet. Life repeats until awareness arrives, not until effort increases. Let's slow this down. A pattern is not a problem. A pattern is information. And information doesn't disappear when ignored. It waits. Think about how mirrors work. A mirror doesn't argue with you. It doesn't tell you to change. It doesn't judge what it reflects. It simply shows you what's there. Life does the same. When a certain emotional state lives inside you, unseen, unacknowledged, unmanaged, life arranges experiences that match it. Not deliberately, naturally, just like gravity. For example, if there is an unrecognized pressure inside you, life will feel pressuring. If there is an unrecognized fear of abandonment inside you, relationships will echo that fear. If there is an unrecognized belief that you must prove your worth, situations will keep demanding effort. Not because life is cruel, but because life is accurate. This is why trying to change the outside often fails. You change the job, the relationship, the environment, but the pattern follows. Because the pattern is not in the situation, it's in the inner state. At this point, many people turn inward, but in the wrong way. They start analyzing, what's wrong with me? What trauma caused this? What belief do I need to fix? That creates another layer of effort. But awareness is not analysis. Awareness is recognition. A pattern dissolves not when it's explained, but when it's fully seen, without judgment. The moment you stop fighting the pattern, it starts losing its grip. This is where episode 2 connects deeply with today. When brain, mind, and heart are not aligned, life reflects that misalignment. The brain wants change. The mind wants safety. The heart hasn't regulated yet. So life repeats the situation until inner coherence forms. Repetition is not stubbornness. It's precision. Life keeps asking the same question until you hear it. Most people are surprised to realize this. The moment awareness arrives, life often changes without effort. The people change. The dynamic shifts. The situation dissolves. Not because you forced it, but because the information was received. Let's look at a very common mirror. You keep giving more than you receive. Different relationships, same exhaustion. From the outside, it looks like bad boundaries, but internally, there may be an unseen belief. I'm valued when I give. Until that belief is noticed, not judged, not corrected, life will keep reflecting situations where you overgive. Once it's seen clearly, the pattern loosens. Not instantly, but naturally. Another common mirror. You keep feeling unseen or unheard. You explain yourself better. You try harder to communicate, but the feeling returns. Internally, there may be an old state of invisibility that has never been fully acknowledged. Life mirrors it, not to hurt you, but to bring it into awareness. This is the part many people resist, because seeing clearly feels vulnerable. It means not blaming others, not blaming yourself, not fixing immediately, just seeing. And seeing can feel uncomfortable at first, because effort has been protecting you from that discomfort. When effort drops, awareness rises, and awareness reveals truth. But here is the quiet reassurance. What is seen clearly loses its power to repeat, not because it disappears, but because it no longer needs to shout. Think about a pattern like a knock on the door. At first, it's gentle. If ignored, it knocks louder. If still ignored, it becomes disruptive, not to punish, but to be heard. Life doesn't repeat to trap you. It repeats to complete something. Completion doesn't come from fixing. It comes from acknowledgement. This is why awareness feels relieving, because the system finally feels understood. And when the system feels understood, it stops recreating the same signal. You might notice this gently. As awareness grows, patterns don't always vanish dramatically. Sometimes they simply lose emotional charge. What once triggered you deeply now feels neutral. That neutrality is resolution. This is also why some patterns end quietly. No confrontation, no closure conversation, no big decision. They just stop appearing. That's when awareness has done its work. If you're listening to this and thinking, but how do I see the pattern clearly? Notice the question. It's another attempt to do something. For now, nothing needs to be done. Seeing begins when effort relaxes. Instead, try noticing this week. What situation feels familiar in my life right now? Not the details, the feeling. Pressure, invisibility, over-responsibility, fear of loss? Just notice. And when you notice, resist the urge to change it. Awareness deepens when it's allowed to stay. Patterns end when they are no longer needed, and they are no longer needed when awareness replaces resistance. Life is not testing you, it's communicating with you. And communication doesn't require force, it requires listening. As this season continues, you'll begin to see how awareness softens effort, how inner alignment dissolves repetition, and how life responds differently when pressure drops. Not because you try harder, but because you see clearly. For now, remember this. If something keeps repeating, it's not because you failed. It's because life is still showing you something with great patience. Awareness is the moment you finally look. You don't need to do anything with what you heard. Let it stay with you, or let it pass. Awareness works quietly. We'll continue next time.